Here is the YB100. As you can see, this is the deluxe model, some 80 model, and of course 37 36 years old bike. This I was using before, and for 12 years I did not use it. Now I'm going to maintain it again for my son. The two-stroke bike. Mostly the parts are original. As you can see, this is the carburetor, and this is also original but abused. At the moment it is dirty, and here are some parts. This cylinder actually had been replaced, and the piston also had been replaced with a new one. This was for the mistake, actually had been replaced. The older one was doing even it was doing, but somebody did an overhauling, and the overhauling was not successful. They created the bore which was incorrect, so that's why the whole thing had been replaced later on. And in the engine some parts had been replaced, but these things are original. The carburetor and this oil pump, of course, this is also original and working. So many things are working in working state, and some parts need, of course, replacement. These bolts I just put new, and see these bolts just I purchased a new for Yamaha. You can see it had been written, and this whole bag I purchased because some bolts are missing, this side and the other side. I will show those bolts I will provide from this bag. And now here is the part, this carburetor. First we have to wash it, we have to clean it, and then later on we will go further. For the cleaning of this carburetor, what we have to do is we should have to remove these 4 bolts which are for the carburetor reservoir, you can say. 4 screws, sorry, not bolts. These I have to remove, and we will not throw them away, because later on in the time of assembly we will fix them back. And this carburetor is dirty, you can say, because it had been settled for a long time, and dirt and dust is there, mud is there, so such carburetors cannot run. They must be very much cleaned. If a machine is old and on that it is dirty, so this is something, a very bad combination, you can say. The older machine can run, but it should be in good order and should be in proper condition. I mean, should be maintained and should be cleaned well, then even it can run. And some people, their intention is to replace everything. So the replacement of everything is not compulsory and is not mandatory. This is needed to be cleaned only. You can see inside the dust, the garbage is there inside, the petrol, the fuel residue. You can see inside. We will clean that. In the middle also you can see this one, some residue is there. And here are the parts like float. We have to remove this float from, and the wall underneath, the needle wall. These things we will clean. This pin I removed from, and then later on this float, carefully we have to take it out. We'll clean it later on. And then this needle valve we are going to remove it from. By this way it will come off, as you can see. And here is a spring. You can see this is spring loaded, and here this part we will clean. Here also the jet we will clean this part. This is not very bad, you can see, not very dirty, but anyhow we can clean it. But from here, of course, you can see inside and outside. Here also the garbage is there, the dust is there. Here inside you can see the dust residues are there. They we will clean. We will use regular gas to clean these parts. We'll keep parts side, some parts we will keep side, and then later on this cover, actually this is the engine cover, will be provided over here. We are using as our cleaning pot at the moment, so we will put this item in. We will be using piece of rag to clean parts. Piece of rag, you can see, this will do. The pan should be cleaned first. We are starting from here, so using a brush we have to clean it. And this is the regular gas we are going to pour on. People have concern with this gas that we should have to use this, we should have to use that. So whatever you are comfortable with, you should use. But for me, the gas is okay. Gas can do. The craziness is not required for the work. You should be specific for the work. You should not be specific for the whatever you are using to do something. Just this gas, we have to wash everything with inside and outside. All the sides we will wash with, because this machine had been settled for a long time. This carburetor should be washed from the outside as well. People will say, why outside? Why outside is important? Because this is something, a philosophy or something, psychology. If a machine is cleaned from the outside, it works well. The bike will run well if it is cleaned even from the outside. This is something, a psychological problem with these bikes. And if you have some bike like this, you should have to make practical, you should have to make experiment with, and you will feel it well, like what I am telling. So by this way, I just washed it, and then little bit fuel or petrol I have to pour inside over here to wash it inside even further. I washed it, so it's cleaned now, perfectly cleaned, you can say. And this part we should have to clean, because this is the throttle. This is the throttle part. We should have to clean it also. This needs cleaning. The throttle action should be perfect. I mean, it should be free in its cavity. It should work without any flaw, flawlessly. I cleaned it up, and then later on what we will do is we will have to clean this plastic part. Just I'm going to show you. This plastic part I have to clean as well. This is just mandatory, not a must what I'm doing, but cleaning is good. Clean parts are beautiful. And they are running well, as I told you. So like this. And then later on, this part I have to clean with the residual fuel, because this is something, covers and bodies which don't need perfect cleaning, but we should do with the residual gas which is remaining with us. And the cloth also I will use to clean these parts all the way. And this pump part also I have to clean. I have to remove as much garbage as I can to make it in good working order. We're going to fix things back. I'm just going to show you this needle valve. First I have to put it in its place, and then later on I have to put this float in, and then the float pin I have to put it back same way as I removed it from. So this way it is in now. It should be like this. And then later on what I should have to do is I have to clean the other part, which was the residue over here. I will clean it, and then we'll show you while I will fix it back. The other fixation I will show you. So here fixing this reservoir, I just have to fix this throttle plate or throttle cylinder inside. So there is a way, this groove we have to fix this side, because there is a small needle, you can see over here inside there is a small needle which is pointing to this groove. So by this way we have to put it in, and then later on we will put it through here to this jet. We will put this needle in, and by this way gently we will wiggle it and put it in, and then fix this nut on this nut. Just we have to thread it like a screw on the top of the carburetor like this, which is holding all these parts inside the carburetor, I mean the throttle cylinder, whatever the parts are. And then we should have to tighten it gently. Just a hand tight is enough, or even we can use as far as the plier to tighten it, but I think this is not perfect. We should have to make it perfectly tight. One side was not gently tight, it was cross-threaded or something like that happened, which I just see. So again we have to remove it and fix it back. But the thing is, first we should have to align this notch with this part, and then put this in on the top. This nut we have to tight it. Yes, gently we have to tighten it like this. Yeah, it's okay now. Now it's tightened, well tightened, perfect. And using our pliers, we can grab it and can tighten it a little bit more further to make snug it tight. Okay, so this is the thing. Now is the time to fix this all thing. I mean this plastic body, just this should be on the top of this one, some way like this. This ring came out down like this, the rubber part. Okay, so now this part will go inside here, and there was a little bit washer somebody made it, and it was some way like this to keep it tight. And then this pipe, this is the fuel line. Actually this is the fuel line. This one we have to put it on the fuel needle wall jet, which is over here. This is the intake for the fuel for this carburetor. By this way, gently we have to put this on and then fix this carburetor on the intake. And later on, what I will do is, here is one grommet. You can see this is a cover. We have to remove it, and from here, using a screwdriver, we have to tighten this bolt inside, which is holding this carburetor in. I have to remove these screws which I put it on there just to hold this thing, and fix this metal bracket and this rubber grommet, this rubber part. We have to fix it and fix these screws on, and later on this tube we will fix it. So this was the fixation of the carburetor, as you see, and hope it will work. And everything settings are there. This is the idle control setting, and here is also the idle setting. We will make these together and then we'll set this bike, I mean this carburetor alignment we will do. And here, by this way, we just have to put all these screws over here. This all 4 screws we will put it on and we'll fix our assembly. So this was a little demonstration on this model carburetor. Carburetor tuning, hope you will do. I mean to say the cleaning and whatever the tuning part is, the alignment part, you will be able to do after watching this video. Thank you for watching. Keep on watching. Stay tuned, subscribe and like.